Hi friends, my name is Sudhanshu and welcome to my channel Automation with Ease. So in today's session we are going to cover the very basics of Selenium WebDriver, wherein we are going to create the simple JavaScripts for our automation. So only basic operations we are going to cover in today's session, and maybe in later sessions we'll cover the frameworks and the different implementation of the automation scripts. So here I've captured a couple of points that you should have a basic knowledge of programming for automation, which is a must. Although in our session itself we will cover the basic things, so that may help you understanding the programming as well. But I would prefer that you should know the programming beforehand. Also, the theoretical part of automation, like what all different frameworks are there and what is Selenium WebDriver and what are the basic operations. Although we are going to cover in this session as well, but yeah, theory if you go through first, it will be helpful to understand. The requirements are you should have an ID. I'm using Eclipse here for our ID, so I'll share these links with you. Okay, wherein you can download the Eclipse and Selenium standalone server. So this is the jar that will be required for Selenium, and Chrome driver as well required. So I would suggest that you download all these things before you kick off the automation. Okay, so I'll show you quickly like which one, what versions, what are things you can use. Okay, so in my machine I have installed this one. There are different versions, there are different further categorization within Eclipse. So you can download as per your system requirement, or the version based on your requirement in development. But yes, this is the one that I have installed and using. Right, the second thing which is required is Selenium standalone server. So this jar, if you click on download, it will download. So I would suggest you to download this and keep it in your folder where you want to keep it. Okay, this is Chrome driver. This version, if you are using Windows, you can install this one and keep it in your system. Now we will kick off with the basic scripting of automation. So let's create a Java project. Okay, cell with is, rest of the other things you can keep it as default. Next, finish. Our project is created. We have a default package. Here itself you can create a class. Okay, right click, create a class, cell class. That's it. Main we want because we are creating a JavaScript, so main will be required. Okay, now, so as I said that you should go through the theory as well first. I will explain you in I'll brief you while we are going through this. So WebDriver is an interface. Okay, so we are creating a reference variable for this, and what we're gonna do is we are going to use Chrome driver class here. Okay, Chrome driver. So basically what it says is WebDriver, we have created a reference for WebDriver interface for class Chrome driver. Okay, now this this reference variable now we can use to use all the methods that are there in the WebDriver interface and are implemented by Chrome driver class. Okay, so the basic functions, like we want what all functions as at a beginner's level you want to perform is open up a browser. Okay, open up a browser, then let's say maximize screen, maximize window. Okay, then what else? Send some text. So anyways, I mean, we are going to see this, how this works. So uh, as we are going to use the Chrome driver class, we need to set up the path for set up the system property for Chrome driver as well. But I'll show you, like I know that this is not going to work anyways. There are a couple of things which I'll show you. Okay, let's remove this error first. Why this error is coming? Because this program is not able to understand what is WebDriver and Chrome driver, so we have to export, we have to add the jar. Okay, add external jars. As I told you, you need to download those Selenium server standalone. Yeah, so wherever you have kept it, just add this in library, apply and close. Okay, it should be refreshed automatically though. Now if you over the mouse over here, it will ask you to import the WebDriver. Okay, now same thing, hover the mouse here, import Chrome driver, error is gone. Okay, now also there is an error. I'll show you like why it's not going to work. So we are going to open up a browser now. This is the command to open up a browser. Okay, what else? Let's say we are opening Google. Okay, still it's not going to work because we have not included the Chrome driver. Let's see what error comes and how we can resolve that error. So it will say that the path to the driver executable must be set to the webdriver.chrome.driver system property, right? So I'll show you how we can add this. Just copy this, system.setProperty, system.setProperty. Key is this one, the Chrome driver WebDriver, right? And the path is where you have downloaded the Chrome driver. So as I told you that you need to download the Chrome driver as well. So just download it and mention the path over here, right? Make sure that there are double slash, otherwise Java won't accept it. It will only accept double slash in path. Now Chrome driver.exe also you have to mention, because this covers the complete path. So Chrome driver.exe. Okay, now we have included it. Now hopefully this should open up a browser. Right, it has opened up, it is connected to Google. Done. Okay, let's close this. What else? We want to maximize it, so manage dot window dot maximize. So this is the pattern that you need to give to maximize the window. Okay, now we want to close the driver, we want to close the browser after this. Close this. Okay, save this, run it as a Java program. So let's see, it has opened up a browser, it has opened the URL is google.com, should maximize and closed. It all happens in a matter of seconds, so you can't see this. Okay, now what else? Okay, let's see if you want to do some more operations here. Okay, so I would suggest that if you're, so there are locators actually. I'll explain you that. Okay, google.com. Here let's say this is our document object model. Okay, now if you want to see the HTML representation of all the elements that are there in this document object model, So we can right click in here, inspect, or instead we can click F12 as well. So you will see this, the developers, it will open up in developers mode. Now you can see like what is the HTML representation and what is the uh, like each element, how you can traverse to each element. And so basically in Selenium what we do is, let's say if we want to send something here, okay, if I want to send some text over here, okay, so first I will have to search this search bar, okay, and then I'm going to locate this button, as in I will locate this button and click on this. So now this is the action that I will open up a browser with google.com. I will find this element and send Sudhanshu Vermeya over here. And then I will click on Google search. Now how this can be done? So I need to identify this search bar here. So inspect this. Now this is the search bar. Okay. So there are different locators like ID, XPath, CSS selector, name, and there are several others which you can use basically to identify this element. This, consider this as an element, the search bar. Now here if you see the definition of this, the representation instead, I would say, so here the ID is given. I can use ID as well, but what I would say is XPath. If you create, so in this session I'll cover the XPath instead, so that you can learn creating the XPath as well. Okay, so I have this extension CrowPath. You can add this extension, uh, search for CrowPath in Google extensions. So in the Google store you will find this and you can add it as your extension. So how this will be helpful basically is to create the XPath. Okay, relative XPath. Now it has given you already the relative XPath, that input ID this. Now, but what I would suggest is, let's search for this instead of ID. If I'm just creating the XPath, okay, so how you can create this input? See, if you can see input over here, right? Class is this, ID is this. What else? I have seen that how people search for XPath is basically they right click on this, copy and copy XPath. But this will give you maybe the absolute XPath. Let's see what XPath it has given you. Okay, so this is kind of absolute XPath. Okay, now if you want to create it ourselves, that will always uniquely identify your element. So let's say how many number of nodes it is saying now, 11 matching nodes. Okay, so how we can uniquely identify our node now? Okay, so name, ID, I think ID here is unique, but in terms of XPath we can probably use this. So let's say in input, if I say that my ID is equals to this, will it identify this? Zero matching node. Okay, so at the rate ID, now it will identify one matching node, right? So this is not ID, this is XPath, right? Now you can copy this. So what else we want? Now we have find the search bar XPath. Let's copy it for now. And what else? This button, inspect this. Okay, now value is Google search. So it has already created a default XPath, but I would say create a simple one, that after div, see basically if you go through the theory part, so there are XPath are of two type, absolute and relative. Absolute will give you the actual representation from like the actual representation of particular element in whole DOM. But if you create it relatively, you can uniquely identify and it will not be that long and complex XPath. Okay, so make sure that you're creating XPath using this CrowPath. Like we have Firebug and fire path in Mozilla Firefox. So here we have crow path. We can use this. Now search for this to matching node. Still it is saying to matching node. Okay, so we have to uniquely identify this. Now why it is saying two, I don't know. Are there actually two? Maybe, not sure. Anyways, div input value is Google search. Okay, so we'll go via this now. Div, then center, then input. So after div, let's put center, center, then input, then value Google search. Now there is only one matching node. Fine. So now this will become your another XPath. Now couple of other commands. Okay, so let's say driver dot, we want to, what we want to do is we want to search this and send a text over here. Okay, now driver dot okay driver fine, driver dot find element. First we will find the element by XPath. What is not giving me suggestion? Dot XPath, right? What is the expression for this button? For sorry, search bar is this. Okay, now what I want to send here is send keys. You can use it here as well, and there is another way, like you can create a web element. I'll show you later. So here I want to send this text. Okay, now what else I want to do? I again want to find an XPath for search button, which in our case is this, right? This, and I want to click here. Okay, maybe I have to close it, right? Now click. Fine. So how could I have done this otherwise? Let's say web element ele is equals to this, then import this web element here. Instead of this, I could have done this ele.send keys. Now I can probably, you can clear it before. Let's say if some text is already there, if you suspect that there could be some text already there, you want to clear that, so just clear it and then send keys, then that particular variable, and then send keys. Okay, now the same thing you could have done here, that you store it in some other web element and then click on it, or you can do it directly. So this is very hard coded form because I am explaining you the basics. So there are different ways where we can reuse, where we can create this as a single method and reuse by just passing the argument, but that is something we can cover later. So right now let's see if this works. What else I want to do? Did I close the browser before? Yes. So remove this, else it will close the browser and it will do nothing. So maximize the screen, find that button, close it, and close the browser. Before that, what I want to see, I want to hold on to the screen for some time just to check the result. So let's say I want to hold on it for 5 seconds just for my testing purpose. Probably throw declaration we need to add. Yeah, okay, now let's run it. open up a browser. Okay, Google Sudhanshu clicked. See, it has done basically everything that we suggested. It will hold on to first 6 seconds and then to 5 seconds, I guess, yeah, and then it will close the browser. See, everything is completed. Basically, for your tracking purpose, you can put some hard-coded logs. Browser opened. Not here, maybe here. Sending text. Fine. And then maybe another over here. Clicking on search button, closing the browser. Now let's see if now it will give you a clue that what is happening, or where if it might have failed somewhere, so you would know where exactly it have failed. All the Selenium gives you the logs, but it's anyways good. So browser open, sending text, clicking on search button, closing the browser closed, right? So I guess this is it for the session, and maybe next session we will cover we will enhance this version of our scripting. And yeah, do post your comments and share this video. Whoever is beginning with the Selenium, this video might help them. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you in next session. Bye.